I'm here in the historic part of Grand Junction where some of our biggest and most valuable trees are. What I wanted to talk really quickly about is natural resource conservation. There's always going to be this battle between having healthy trees and conserving water. What I want to point out here to everybody is in our older part of town with the biggest, most valuable trees, a little bit of a higher water use makes sense to protect the investment of these trees and save our shade, have more wildlife habitat, increase property values of the neighborhood, and have all those great benefits of the trees. So in a spot like this in Grand Junction, a little bit more water use does make sense to protect the highest valued natural resource of our urban trees in our older parts of town. Okay, so if we are going to try to move away from just the irrigated grass, you want to go to something a little bit different, a little bit more drought tolerant. This is a great example here of something more in between where we've got drought tolerant perennials and different sorts of flowering bulbs. We still get the shade of the trees, we still have water going into the system, but it is a conservation effort. But now we've got a landscape that still keeps the neighborhood looking beautiful. You've got beneficial things for pollinators. We still are using water, but we're being smarter about it, and we're getting to still have nature in our city, still protect the property value and the look and feel of our neighborhoods. And this is a good in-between or a good place people could be considering moving. So everybody remember that water conservation and the resources of our natural trees are both important natural resources in Grand Junction. Moving away from all of those landscapes to just a zero water landscape, what it does is it creates an environment where we won't have any trees. We end up with streets that are barren of any sort of nature. It impacts the social connection in neighborhoods, and it really isn't what we want our core part of Grand Junction to be. So I just want to ask everybody, be smart when it comes to water conservation, and always remember that trees also hold a huge value for our community, and let's all work together to try to find that balance where we can make our city the most livable and beautiful city we can create.